Attention, Earthlings. The Blippo festivities are about to begin. Please silence your PDs.
Attention, Earthlings. The Blippo festivities are about to begin. Please, silence your PDs. All rise for the Blippian Planetary Anthem.
Wow, I find that moving every single time. Hello, welcome to the live stream. I'm Mike Merrill. The pleasure of being your host tonight. This morning. It's so weird. It's so early. Thanks for coming. No, seriously, sit down. Sit down. Please sit down. This is the Blippo Plus live stream. And for the past many, many months, we've all only seen this wonderful world in beautiful 1-bit black and white. And today, in just a very, very short amount of time, we're going to see it in all the glorious colors of Planet Blip. I'm so excited. It's my great pleasure to introduce... Introduce yourself first. Well, let me introduce myself first. Before I introduce anyone else. We're doing it live. My name is Mike Merrill. I had the pleasure of being the executive producer on this project, and also you might recognize me if I go this way as the face of Lenny in one of the shows. I didn't want to give it away, but it's Countertop. I was in Countertop. So yeah, without further ado, please welcome the writer of the show and producer, Claire L. Evans, and the creative and game designer, Jonna Bechtold. Welcome, you guys.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Michael. It's great to be here with you this morning.
And what a wonderful morning it is on the Blippo Plus live stream in 1-bit beautiful black and white.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. We have never done a live stream before, so, it's going to be what it's going to be. But, yeah.
I was just going to say, let's set some ground rules right at the beginning. We only have this one microphone. It is the real microphone. This is not a prop. And so anyone should just feel free to grab it from anyone at any time.
So this is the talking stick. Let's just call it the talking stick. When you have the talking stick, you can talk. And you can talk about whatever you like, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling. Most importantly, whatever you're feeling. And so I'd like to just pass the mic around and let's get like a temperature check. I'm feeling stressed out and pretty nervous because something that we've worked on for many years with over 100 people and close collaborators is about to be released to the public. It's about to be judged by the public. It's about to be reviewed by the press. And oh boy, I don't like the feeling, but here we are.
I'm feeling some of that. I'm feeling shades of that. I'm also feeling really grateful for the Playdate community that has embraced this game in 1-bit black and white. We love you. We see you. It's put wind in our sails and a little juice in our cup. It makes us feel a little bit safer, I think, going into this terrifying release day moment for us, because we know that there's some people out there that are that have our back and are excited about this world and are excited to share it with other people. So thank you so much. Feeling lots of gratitude. Mike, how are you feeling?
Mostly overdressed. We talked about this being like the big launch, so I went out, did my job, but then I show up and you guys are in scrubby clothes with t-shirts and...
Did you scrubby clothes? Mike Merrill puts the executive in executive producer, and I'd like to just shout you out. You've been here the whole time. You've been helping us through everything, through every moment. You used the clapper on the set. You held up ponytails with fish wire. He did so much. So first shout out goes to executive producer Mike Merrill, and this is going to be shout out after shout out after shout out today. So if anyone else would like to do a shout out, let's just keep this rolling.
Well, I would like to shout the members of the crew that are not on this live stream this morning. Director, cinematographer, and co-producer J.J. Stratford, without whom this world would simply not look as fabulous as it is, not be as fabulous as it is.
It wouldn't be possible without JJ, so shout out to JJ Stratford.
Wouldn't smell as good as it does, all of it. Second shout out to Ronnie Levi, who is our production designer and built all the sets. Also wouldn't be possible without him, of Telefantasy Studios.
I want to shout out Joan Gray, makeup artist, key makeup artist on Blippo Plus. Oh, Joan, you did such a great job. Everything looks so good.
It's very exciting that we now get to, I love this clap motif, that we now get to share all this stuff in color with the world, because there's lots of things that are very, very special that are only visible in color in this game, and that is the makeup and the costumes, which are also incredible. Shout out to Kiki Stash, our costumer. Unbelievable work, superlative work from both of them. The highly power clashing, colorful world of Blippo Plus would not exist without their incredible taste and vision.
Now let's talk about a couple things that are going to happen on this live stream.
2 more shout outs.
Oh, wait, hold on, sorry.
Maybe 3 more shout outs.
Oh yeah, wait. Shout out to Rob Keysweater. Rob and I composed the soundtrack, Rob mostly, and then me as well. And you know what? The soundtrack is coming out today as well. It's going to go live in 23 minutes on Bandcamp and on Steam and on itch.io and potentially on streamers too, like Apple Music and Spotify. But it's 137 tracks, and last I checked, it had not been approved. So might not go up today. It might take a little. I know it's a lot of tracks, and that's after I did a great deal of editing But yeah, anyway, so shout out again to Rob Keysweater, composer. And then I want to give another shout out.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Liza Cardinal,
Ooh, yeah.
editor extraordinaire. So Emmy award-winning editor. If you loved What We Do in the Shadows, oh my gosh, Liza is incredible, so great, and her and JJ have been making things together for decades. So shout out to Liza and Dungeon Majesty, and yeah, Liza, get another clap.
Maybe we could just do shout outs for this entire stream because there's hundreds of people involved, but we would be remiss if we did not also shout out our devs.
Oh my god.
Dustin Moreau, who made the Playdate version. A gentle man, beautiful man, willing to really go for it with some really out there ideas and change things on the fly over the course of the 11-week run of the Playdate version, which we will probably explain after this. Also, shout out to Mark LaCroix, developer of the color version, who I think is in the chat. I think I saw him in the chat. We'll talk to him later live on this stream. Yeah. Final shout out? Panic.
Yeah.
Final shout out to Panic. What visionaries? I think we can all agree. Mike, you want the talking stick?
I was just thinking we should talk to Panic about this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If there's anyone from Panic, is now the time? Should we just jump into it?
Yeah.
If anyone from Panic is watching, can you call us?
I'll text him.
All right, because I feel like there's so much went into this, but really like the vision that Jonna had in a fever dream and scribbled notebooks came about when he, fervently told Panic about this, and they somehow got it just from that description, and that's kind of amazing. Yeah. And I don't think that I've seen other people say this and notice it, like this game couldn't have been published by anyone but Panic, and I think that's absolutely true in so many different ways.
Yeah, and they've been incredibly supportive of every weird idea that we've had, including overly ambitious, complicated ones that make things hard for everyone. And to their enormous credit, approved this project without even reading a script, knowing what it was about, or knowing really anything about it. We just told them we wanted to make a live-action cable TV service for the Playdate, and they said, yes.
At some point, we should do like a dramatic recreation of what that conversation was, because I was not there when you pitched it to them, and I'm so curious what they thought and what you said and how they were convinced. But let's see if we can get... Oh, here we go. We're going to try to get anyone.
Someone. I love how elusive you're being about it.
Well, I don't know who's coming in. Okay. Oh, maybe we're going to get Cable Sasser on the line.
Ooh, you're lucky.
Hey.
Here we go. Is he there? Cable, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh no, hold on, it didn't work.
Hold on, give us 1 second. We got to dial you in here. 1 second.
Okay, John is on it.
We've got him on the line. We just got to get him onto the feed here. We've got Cable Sasser, who is the person that Jonna spoke to and begged to make this game.
Oh, there he is.
Turn his phone sideways.
Oh, will you turn your phone sideways?
Got it.
Yeah,
got it,
yeah,
no
you
problem.
got it. Unfortunately, we can't hear you though. Jonna,
Oh.
can you do that?
It's fine.
Can you fix that? Look, he looks so good. Look, that's the
don't
Panic
need to hear me.
office, live and direct.
We're having some sound issues.
Listen, we said this was our first live stream, and we weren't kidding.
There it is. Hold on, I got it.
Really?
1 sec.
Really?
Okay, here it comes.
And
Jonathan on the board.
Yeah?
There he is. Hi, Cable.
Nobody needs to hear my voice. It's okay.
Everybody wants to
First of all,
know.
Hey
Hi.
guys, how are you? Hey,
We're
Mike,
okay.
you look so nice.
Thanks.
thanks.
Yeah, Mike mostly looks nice.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know, why did you say yes?
That is an excellent question. Something like this needs to exist, right? There's not a lot of opportunities in life to bring something into the world that's as unique and cool as Blippo Plus. So sometimes if you have the opportunity and the means, you just gotta do a crazy thing. And that's definitely what we did here. And I'm so glad that we could be a part of it.
Yeah, we're so glad you are too.
do you have any advice for us?
Yeah, as we press the button for the very first time.
Something will go wrong.
Yeah.
Possibly multiple things. There will be bugs. Prepare yourself that this is the start of a new, smaller journey. Now that you've completed the big journey, but it's gonna be awesome. And I think it's been so cool seeing the sort of fan base spring up around Blippo.
Yeah.
And I think I'm excited to watch that grow and for this thing to find the right people. So anyways, hang in there. There'll be some ups, there'll be some downs.
Believe in
But
ourselves, right?
Ultimately, it'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions for Cable? Mike?
I don't have any specific question for you other than in terms of like preparation. You were saying the next chapter. When does it end? Does it just keep going forever? It feels like every time we hit a major, huge milestone and we want to celebrate, then we're like, wait, this is just the beginning.
That is such a good question. I'm pretty sure it goes on forever. And I can say that, like, historically at Panic, it's been really hard for us to take a moment to appreciate that we hit a milestone because there's always that next milestone. That's why I'm glad you're doing this live stream right now, taking a moment to pause. But I think life is just a series of milestones. So
Yeah. Or tombstones.
eventually.
Oh, could you say life is
Maybe not
paved?
multiple, but-
Could you say life is paved with milestones?
Sure, yeah, that's good too.
Huh?
Can you trademark that?
That's a pretty good bumper That's a pretty good bumper sticker.
Where do I get one?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, we have the same philosophy with Yacht. Like, it never ends. It keeps going, and we're lucky that it keeps going. And our only goal is to sustain and to keep making things. And it's our great pleasure to make things and to have an audience and to have patrons like you, Cable. So thank you.
Hey, hey, look, there's the giant plate. I don't know if anyone can see that in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves the giant plate.
I wanted to just say that we really wanted to include the giant playdate in Blippo
Yes.
Plus in one of the shows, but it was logistically too complicated to bring it down from Portland and use it.
But at least we did sneak you a Playdate stereo dock.
Yes, we do have a playdate stereo dock.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. We have several. Some of them are functional. No, none of them are functional.
Well, kind of functional. Half functional. They work as Bluetooth speakers, yeah.
And they work as
barely.
docks, which is their
Actually, probably shouldn't talk about that.
Nope, let's stop talking about it.
Okay, so we won't show our top secret prototypes.
Okay.
Okay,
We are,
great.
What are we looking at?
We're 15 minutes out from pressing the big button. I just want you to see that we did, in fact, invest in an actual button. Don't press it yet. Don't press it yet. It is a real button. Once it presses,
Blippo is unleashed.
Blippo is unleashed on the world, so we got to be careful not to press it too soon. But it is sitting right here on top of a large cat scratcher in our living room.
It's a pedestal.
It's a pedestal. I just want to let people kind of behind the veil to see that, you know, these things, they look really professional, but really this is just a scratching post.
Does it look really professional?
I think it does. We try really hard to make it look good and to take things like a little bit, to make things a little bit extra. And that is because of the legacy of Panic and our deep terror of ever disappointing you. We want to just make things that are up to snuff.
Please tell us you're proud of us. Please tell us.
Extremely, extremely proud.
Yay! Good. That's
Done
all we really
amazing
want.
work. Yeah.
We can quit all of this now. We got the cable's approval.
Okay, let's cut Cable off now while we're ahead.
I mean, it's been nice to see you.
Really nice to see you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Beautiful face.
It's a long story. Nice to see you. Thanks for including me.
Of course. Thank you for calling in. Now, he was just calling in from the Panic office where we just recently went because we were in town.
Oh my gosh.
And we got to take a look at some of the early fan mail, the traditional style paper fan mail that we have received for just the black and white Playdate version of this game.
An overwhelming experience, an emotionally overwhelming experience.
Yeah. Wonderful to see that people cared enough to write in and send funny notes with like their reviews of which shows they liked and which shows they hate, which is very funny. The great thing about having a game that has 55 shows is that there's something for everybody. I think maybe we should take a little bit of time to kind of explain Blippo to people. I think there are some people probably in the chat who know the black and white Playdate version. Maybe some people are new to it, so we should maybe set a little, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
Claire, what is Blippo Plus?
I'll start. Blippo Plus is an intergalactic cable television service. It is a way for us here on Earth to access television via subspace from the distant, uncannily similar, but also much better planet Blip, which exists on the other side of the universe. On Blippo Plus, you can enjoy many television shows on many subjects starring a whole cast of colorful and delightful characters. And if you watch long enough, you will find out that there's more to it than just exciting television content, there's also a larger story playing out between the channels, and it's up to you to discover what's going on this wonderful planet.
Claire, what isn't Blippo Plus?
Well, it's possibly not a game. This is a point of contention. I think we're going to just own that out of the gate so that people can't say that it's not a game. It's not. It's something different. It's an experiment in radical world building. It's an experiment in distribution. It's a way for a bunch of talented artists to get together and make something that is greater than the sum of their parts and distribute it to an audience in a place, in a world where there's still a lot of enthusiasm and excitement for experiments. We are very excited to enter into the world of games because it feels like there's some juice. People are into new things. They're into exciting things. They're willing to try things. It's a little bit harder to make stuff, obviously, for television, or even the internet these days. So we're grateful for the platform.
Yeah, just to add to the openness, I think, of the indie game world specifically, where there's so much experimentation and small teams can really punch above their weight, is something that's really exciting. And Jonna and Claire, you guys as Yacht have been doing so much like insane interactive high production cross medium productions and things for so long. It's sort of crazy to me that you've never made a game before. And yeah, what do you think has come closest to this moment for you, or what feels like the most parallel?
I guess, we've had songs in video games. We have a song in GTA 5, in the Metronomicon, in The Sims 3. We had to record a song in Simlish. Simslish? Simslish? Whatever the Sims language is, Simlish, yeah. That was funny. And yeah, video games have been a part of my life since I was a very little person, and yeah, I don't know. I guess this is it's amazing that we're here.
Give me the talking stick.
Sorry.
I think that this project is a culmination of a lot of things for a lot of the people involved. We have been making various different things. We've made apps, we've made public art installations, we've made documentary film, we've made albums, we've made podcast, we've made book. We've made design objects, we've made happenings, we've made lots of different kinds of stuff, and all of that kind of converges in this project. I think we can say the same for JJ, our director, who's been working in the field, making amazing video art and music videos and art and fashion stuff for years. This is also a real culmination of a lot of her talents and her community, a lot of really talented people coming together to do something, like I said before, that's bigger than anything any of us have ever done before, and it's like a container for all of our creativity.
Yeah, I think it really is. It's all about all of us putting everything we have into this. And yeah, another shout out to Rob Keysweater, because yeah, he's a film and podcast and TV composer, and he's done scores for different kinds of stuff. And it's just the amount of music that he made on this project is really overwhelming and so cool to behold. Yeah.
Okay, we're 10 minutes from button pressing time.
Yeah, I realized just a few minutes ago that I had set the counter to 10 a.m., but no, there's a tiny counter on your screen right below the word live.
Disregard it. Disregard
No,
the counter.
I fixed it. It. We're now at 8 minutes and 5 seconds. We are counting down to when Blippo Plus arrives on Nintendo Switch and Steam.
I feel like Ryan Seacrest with the ball dropping.
You look like Ryan Seacrest.
I wish.
I was going to say, maybe we should talk a little bit about the difference between the Playdate version of Blippo and the color version of Blippo. For those who don't know, the wonderful thing about the Playdate as a console is that it's built around this really magical season model, where if you buy a season of games, you get all kinds of fun, surprising games every week. And we designed Blippo as an experience around the idea that we could build a season of television within this season framework that the Playdate has. So every week on the Playdate version, every Thursday at 10 a.m., you get a whole new installment. And that is going on 11-week cycle in perpetuity. So it's a different experience. Okay, you want the talking stick?
I just wanted to add that we made an infinite video game. Yeah. I don't know that that's ever been created before.
True. Well, I don't know. What is No Man's Sky? Isn't that infinite? No. But the Playdate version is because it's specifically happening in real time, all of the content is playing at the same time for everybody. So no matter where you are in the world, if you tune in to Blippo Plus on Playdate, you will be watching the same thing as everyone else, just like old-fashioned, good old-fashioned TV the way it used to be. We think that's really fun, and it's so rare to have an opportunity to do that. It's been a way, I think, for us to celebrate. It crashed. It better in it. Our love of television and the collective experience, the shared experience of television. Because when we were growing up, we old, and we just watched what was on TV because it was what was on TV, and then you would talk about it the next day, and you would if someone missed it, you could catch them up on what happened on your favorite show the week before, and that's been happening in the Playdate community. People catching each other up on what's going on Blippo, which is really fun.
Yeah, that community watching in real time was one of the most fun things to spy on over the past many, many months. And watching them decode and deconstruct things so quickly. There was nothing. Is there anything they didn't find?
Yes. There are a handful of things that they did not find. There was a really big and special Easter egg that we didn't want them to miss, and so we kind of gave them a hint in Discord so they wouldn't have to wait another 11 weeks, because in the 11th week of Blippo Plus on Playdate, there's a special Easter egg, and we didn't want anyone to miss it. We gave them a hint, and so they saw it. But yeah, there's other little things that they've missed.
Yeah, so keep watching.
Well, there's so many different references that went into Blippo Plus from all of us. So there was, hundreds of people's influence, primarily a small group of us that have been working on it the whole time, but so many different things and references that people could point to, some of which are probably only in one person's mind's eye and some of which are a little easier to find.
Yeah, I think if you're ahead about television, like you love TV, you love the history of TV, you're going to find lots of little references, Easter eggs, homages, love letters in this game to those moments. Really, from television going back to the 70s to the early 2000s-ish.
And not just television references, but computer history references, and television production references, and video art references, and video art production references. Lots of tiny little things that are just right out in the open, that if you do a couple, some seeking, you're going to find out what the heck we were talking about.
And a lot of it also is due to our director, cinematographer, JJ Stratford, who is what do we call her? A video lifer, TV lifer. Yeah. She's someone with an encyclopedic knowledge of the history of TV and video art, and her studio is this magical place that's full of resources and references and objects and inspiration. And you'll see a little bit of that, I think, in the Blippo Plus behind the scenes documentary that's coming out. Oh, yeah. We don't know exactly when, but is being made right now, and you'll get a glimpse at that incredible world of Telefantasy Studios.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's do another shout out to Telefantasy Studios.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging out there.
Okay, now we're looking at 4 minutes and 25 seconds until Blippo Plus is unleashed on Nintendo Switch and Steam.
We got a couple questions in the chat, clarifications of what we were just talking about the actual difference between the Playdate and color version. They're not entirely different, to answer your question, person in the chat. It is the same, I hate to use the word content, and I won't, same programming, different containers. So soup to nuts, the color version is different design, different look, different feel, different mechanic. It's not locked to that 11-week schedule like the Playdate version is. The Playdate version is unique in that way. The color version has a slightly different navigation. And we can talk to our dev, Mark, about that after we press the button.
And yeah, there's a couple other extra bits of interactivity in the color version that I think you, dear viewer, are going to love.
We have another question in the chat about why is it 1-bit?
Why is it 1-bit? Okay, that's a limitation for the Playdate device. So the screen itself is a 1-bit screen. It's not grayscale. It can only go on or off. And that's why it's dithered, and that's why images look so cool and so special. And why we were first doing experiments with, was it a prototype? Yeah, it was a prototype version of the Playdate that Panic sent us. We started messing around with still images and then video, and we couldn't believe how good it looked. And that's kind of how everything started. We designed Blippo Plus from the ground up for the Playdate season model and for the Playdate device. And as we were in production, as we were editing some of the daily footage, the footage looked so incredible in color as well that we were we have to ask Panic if it's possible, if there's even a glimmer of hope that this could be a bigger thing than Playdate. And by golly, they said yes. And here we are today.
I got a shout out to Dave and his dithering engines. So important.
So right now we are using, to show you this live stream to us in dithered black and white right now, we are using the very same encoder that we use to encode all the video on Blippo Plus. And why don't we do a little bit of a dither tour? You guys want to do a dither tour?
A what?
Yeah, I'll have to go over there, but can you narrate?
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, we've got 3 minutes of dither tour.
Let's just do like 3 dithers.
All right, what's this one called that we're on now?
This is called Stucky. Pretty much everything, most of the things in Blippo Plus are Stucky. What's that?
That's Bayer. That's a 2x2.
That's a Bayer.
My mustache looks great.
You may know this from like Game Boy Camera. Say that.
You may know this from Game Boy Camera. This dithering algorithm is called, it's just Bayer, 8x8. Yeah. Okay.
Here's Atkinson.
Hit us with that Atkinson. Now, Atkinson, I think, is the superior dither. You know, shout out if you agree. Chat, sound off. We're big fans of the Atkinson dither, and actually that Easter egg that John referenced in the Playdate version, week 11, has a little bit of something to do with the Atkinson dither.
Oh, this looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Why were we in Stucky when we could have been in Atkinson? That's what the people want to know. Okay, we are 1 minute and 12 seconds away from Blippo Plus arriving from Planet Blip all the way here to planet Earth.
Oh my goodness. So we we have a lot of technical coordination that has to happen here. I don't know if you know that. I didn't know this going in. But like when you make a video game live, there's a lot of clicking behind the scenes that has to happen. It is just, I hate again to like lift the veil here, but this button.
Why would you? No,
No,
this
okay.
button is connected to everything. This button is connected to everything. This button will start our car outside. This button will launch Blippo Plus into the stratosphere. This button will also turn off the live. No, it won't turn the live stream off, will it?
No.
I hope not.
Gosh, it might. No, I don't think so. It might do something else, though. We'll see.
When we press the button, hopefully the crack team at Panic behind the scenes will be coordinating with us.
20 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Are we going to do a
we're gonna
countdown?
do a big countdown. You
Let's
ready?
wait till 10 to do the countdown. Otherwise, it's kind of overkill.
You press the button, and we're gonna go
Okay, here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Love and television.
Is that? Can you hear us now? Chat, can you hear us now?
Checking, check.
Chat, can you hear us now? Tell us. Okay, dang. Let's quickly re-explain the thing that we just re-explained.
I wonder when we lost it.
I think we lost it when we did the transition.
I know why. So just talk, please.
Okay, they're back. We're back. Okay. So you all missed the really cool explanation that we just did. I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Again, first stream ever. We showed you perhaps noticed that there were some other videos on the screen. Those were all documentation of the moments in which different TV networks around the country made the transition from black and white to color. So there was the Australian one, the Norwegian one, the French, and the American ones. All happened at different times. and in different ways. It's a fun YouTube search. Go ahead and do that for yourself later.
Why did you give me the mic when I was coughing? I screwed that up. I'm sorry. Cable said something would go wrong, and guess what it did? But yeah, here we are. We're back. The microphone is live, and Blippo Plus is available for purchase on Steam, as well as the Blippo Plus soundtrack. And I think we have a couple bundles, special bundles that you can purchase.
Yeah, shout out to the teams behind Kentucky Route Zero and Hypnospace Outlaw, who were kind enough to partner with us on special bundles. We felt like those games were sort of spiritually similar to ours in some way, very different.
Cousins.
Yeah, very different, obviously, but both games that pay homage to lost media and archaic technology and that are created by artists. So we're super excited that those bundles are available. If you already own those games, you can complete the bundle on Steam and save, I think, like an extra percent. Also, Blippo Plus is available with a 10% launch discount for the first 2 weeks. Did the plugs.
Let's plug.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys hear that the first time around? Yes, Mike?
Let's talk about the book.
Oh, yeah.
This beautiful book that you made.
Yeah, while we're doing plugs, I guess we might as well also plug the Blippo Plus Logos from Planet Blip book, which John and I made in a fevered fugue state a couple of weeks ago. It includes all of the graphic design from the game. Oh, nice. Nice! Including all of the logos of all the TV shows and networks, some stuff that didn't make the cut, iterations and experiments, inspirations and explanations written by me of what our thinking was when we were doing the specifically just the graphic design of the game, of which there's so much also.
Now, where is this available?
Now. It's out now. It's available now, and it's available everywhere you buy games. It is on Steam.
No, I'm talking about the book.
Oh, the book. Sorry. The book is available on the Yeti.
Yeti, I think.
Yeti, and I'm sure someone from Panic will drop it in the chat because they're very good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The game is available on Steam, on itch, and on a little thing called Nintendo. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And that for us is a pretty wild reality, and we have to constantly remind ourselves that we have made a game that is technically a Nintendo game.
Oh, man. I can't believe that it's out and that someone's buying it right now. I mean, I hope someone's buying it right now.
Someone's buying it right now.
Will someone go buy it right now to make that statement true? Thank you. I bought a Nintendo Switch because of this game. I didn't have one before, and I wanted it.
I'm drop the Yeti link in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Asking where to buy.
Let's get a link to that.
Bye. I'm dropping the link to buy the book in the chat. Someone asked. I'm not just being. I'm dropping it in the chat.
Yeah, if you're like the three of us, you love to have giant piles of art books in your house to be inspired when you're not feeling well and you're lying on the couch and you're like, I don't know what to do, and TV doesn't feel good sometimes, so you have to look at a book.
You must look at a book. You must look at a book to survive this world. John and I are big collectors of interesting estate sale books and magazines. In fact, if this stream goes long enough and we get more and more unhinged, we might show you our international collection of TV Guide magazines. Don't threaten me with a good time.
And so here we have executive producer K. Mike Merrill opening a bottle of champagne to celebrate the launch of Blippo Plus on Steam and Switch.
Should I smash it against the computer?
Please don't do that.
Let's christen our new Nintendo Switch by smashing a bottle of champagne on it. Just sidebar, this champagne, what do you even call this thing? The bucket. My grandpa was a tire salesman, and for doing such a good job of selling tires, he was awarded this champagne bucket in like 1960 something. Anyway, Mike is going to open the champagne. Here we go.
Wow, from tire salesmen to video game designers. For the record, it's 9:06 a.m. for us, so it's looking a little much for me, but we'll do it. Thank you, Michael. And if you have some champagne at home or something bubbly like a seltzer or even just a cup of coffee, let's go ahead and have a toast together. Whatever beverage, thank you, the little ones for me. Whatever beverage you've got, let's just go ahead and toast together and enjoy this moment as a interplanetary community.
Okay, I'll hold the microphone so we can really get the clink.
Okay, ready? Wait, is everyone ready?
Do you have your beverages ready, viewers?
Viewers?
In the
We'll give
chat?
you 5, 4,
4, 3, 2.
1. Okay, we're clinking.
Congratulations, everyone. We did it.
We did it.
Woof.
Well, that's good.
Oh my gosh.
Of course it's good.
Champagne for breakfast.
You know what I love? I love that.
I love you, Mike.
I love you too. I love that there's champagne. Presumably, there's champagne on Planet Blip.
Well, as the Discord community so accurately found out, yes, it is canon that there is France on Planet Blip. So, by that logic, the Champagne region of France also exists on Planet Blip. Move your glass. That is because we wanted to have people be able to say ooh la la, basically.
That's not true. Okay, so while we're partying, while we're here popping champagne, you know what? Let's take a look at the party, the Blippo Plus exhibition and bash that we held 1 month ago. We'd love to show you around the grounds, show you the kind of people that were there, the scene, the TV walls, the props, the costumes on display. Yeah, we've edited together something a little bit special. So here, Claire, why don't you do a little extra introduction while I cue it up?
Yeah, we had a wonderful launch party a month ago. We were going to pretend like the party just happened, but I think you would know. You would know. Although Mike is wearing a tux, so maybe we could have gotten away with it.
If I was more disheveled.
And running party video now.
I'm Kai Alive, voice of the Blippo Plus electronic program guide. We're here at the Blippo Plus exhibition and premiere party at the Bob Baker Marionette Theater in Los Angeles, California, planet Earth. Greetings, Earthlings. Thank you for tuning in to the Blippo Plus premiere party.
Wow, that looks like a fun party.
That was a fun party. I ran around a lot.
Yeah. I didn't drink any water for like 7 hours when we were setting up and having that party. A couple more shout outs, why not? Shout out to the Bob Baker Marionette Theater in Los Angeles, which hosted our party for us. If you live in LA, you know. If you don't live in LA, come and visit us and visit the amazing Bob Baker Marionette Theater, which is I don't even know how old it is. It's 70-year-old marionette theater with 3,000 handmade puppets that were all made by the wonderful Bob Baker, who was an incredibly talented artist who I think was partially responsible for It's a Small World at Disneyland. And it's still being run by a group of incredible, like, super positive, sweet people who let us take over the entire venue with our exhibition of props and our video wall installation and our cast of characters. And we got to do a special Blippo Plus puppet fashion show. The voice of the electronic program guide, Kai Grant, aka Kai Alive.
Shout out to Kai
Shout
Alive.
out was there as MC. It was a really amazing party, and we also have a lot of really fun cast interviews and a little bit of special sneak peeks behind the veil.
Quick shout out to that video wall.
Yeah, that video wall was great. Really, a lot of TVs. So we're gonna play another little clip for you. This is an interview with fan favorite Naomi Lifto, aka Chloe Coover, who is the host of the Rubber Report on Blippo Plus. Really like a runaway. Everyone seems to love her as much as we do, which is really nice. And you get to kind of meet Chloe and hear her experiences making Blippo Plus. So run that clip, Jonna.
I'm Kai Alive, voice of the Blippo Plus electronic program guide. We're here at the Blippo Plus exhibition and premiere party. I'm here with Chloe Coover, who starred in the Rubber Report. Hi, Chloe.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
How have you been finding this whole wild night?
It's truly been real eye-opener.
What is the Rubber Report, and what were you reporting on? What is the news of Planet Blip? Tell us.
I'm so glad you asked. So the Rubber Report is hosted by me, Naomi Lifto, and it's basically an alien gossip show where I report on the goings on and updates from all of the other sort of channels and shows. And then as the narrative progresses, more key information gets revealed over the course of it. And so it's sort of like this disruption in the overall world starts to seep in little by little throughout the whole thing.
That's some suspense.
Yeah, you'll have to watch and find out how it goes.
There was this really incredible stack of video monitors showing different teasers from all of the shows. And you were saying you walked in and saw a bunch of your face on that screen too.
Yep, it was truly like serendipitously all playing the Rubber Report. I came into the gorgeous Bob Baker Marionette Theater to find posters of my face, t-shirts with my face on them, like the outfit that I wore in my show. So it's really like kind of overwhelming and exciting and cool.
Do you plan to wear this t-shirt of your face?
You know, I actually was thinking about like doing my morning like hike in it, and then I was like, this is a little odd. Like, this might not necessarily go over as well as like, I don't know. It just feels a little. But I'm a quadruple Leo, so for me, I'm like being the center of attention, the star of my own personal movie is kind of like par for the course.
Absolutely. Plus, if you're in a more rustic look in the early morning for that hike, maybe people won't recognize you, you know? Also, yeah, a quadruple Leo is going to be wearing a picture of their face on top of their face.
It's so cool to have seen how it all kind of like came together from like just getting the one little piece, because my show is just me alone delivering the news of the day. The hot topics that people needed to know. And so it was cool to see like how much more Baroque so many of them could get, and like how many more participants and people were involved in certain things. It's like sets and costumes, and it just is really like mind-boggling.
What's the deal with rubber? Is that a popular material on the planet?
Well, so I have a little catchphrase at the end of it where it's just, and that's the Rubber Report, boing boing. So like it's about it sort of being like springy and like bouncy.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and that's the Rubber Report. Boing boing.
Boing, boing.
Boing boing.
Boing boing.
Boing boing.
Someone in the chat is asking, what is this? This, great question. That is a very special interview with one of our cast, one of the stars of Blippo Plus, Chloe Coover, who is one of the stars of our, again, live action video game out today. If you're in the chat, I hope you know at least that much.
Sometimes I like to just go on to various streaming services and just see what's live. So yeah, maybe it's, you know, like any live broadcast, maybe every once in a while we should just check in.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the Blippo Plus live stream launch event. Blippo Plus is an FMV full motion video game out today on Nintendo Switch and Steam. It's already been released for the wonderful and special magical device, the Playdate. And yeah, we're here celebrating the very first peak of all of these things around the Blippo Plus launch party and interviews, and we're here with each other just hanging out drinking champagne. This is our first video game that we have made as a group of 6. There's only half of us here today. Shout out to the other half, to JJ Stratford, Ronnie Levy, Rob Keysweater. We couldn't have done it without you, and we did it together, and we made something very special. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And Dustin.
And Kiki and Joan.
And Kiki and Joan. And Mark LaCroix. Hey, we should get Mark LaCroix in here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's no spoilers, but that is scheduled and it's happening in a little bit. So let's not go ahead and rush that. Gosh, should we like show the game? Is that what people do during these kinds of streams? Yeah. I think traditionally the developer plays the game for a public chat. Is that what we're supposed to do right now? Oh, there it is. There's the game in color. My goodness. So it's so beautiful. So if you played this game already on the Playdate, you've only seen this material in black and white. So now the magic of color is watching over your retinas. You are overwhelmed by the design, which was done by our very own Jonna Bechtold here, the development by Mark LaCroix, the incredible electronic program guide. Now we could talk about, not everyone is familiar with the concept of an electronic program guide. This is an archaic television concept. You may see one occasionally when you are in a hotel. Hotel television often has an electronic program guide. The service Pluto or Tubi also have electronic program guides. This is a convention that was invented in the early 80s, late 70s, as a replacement for the paper television guide, the TV guide magazine that you would buy. This was built into early cable services as a way of being able to consult the show schedules right there in the convenience of your television. Too boring, says Jonah. I don't think so. I think the people that like this game are into this kind of stuff.
I think so too. But let's watch a show. Let's keep. Yes, this show was so fun to make. We had 5 dancers and a choreographer. Another shout out.
Shout out to Kent Boyd, choreographer to the stars.
He was amazing. The dancers were absolutely amazing. They learned all of these dances on the day. It was astounding.
Yeah. This is kind of like a top of the pop style show where you get all the top hits on the world of Planet Blip. This is Tales from the Tube. This is going to be a very fast-paced walkthrough because all the shows here are 1 minute long. So if you want to describe anything for more than 1 minute, we'll have to rush it. But Tales from the Tube is the only show on Blippo Plus hosted by a synthetic host, Blinker, who is a synthetic character who's kind of going through it, as you will discover when you play the game. What else we got? Let's see. Bushwalker. Bushwalker has been a fan favorite in the Playdate version.
I feel like this is a huge advance for color because when you watch Bushwalker, it's really immersive in this first-person POV, and to actually see the colors, I just think it adds, honestly, more than most shows. I think this one really is wonderfully enhanced by color.
Fun fact about Bushwalker, it was created by Rob Kieswetter, who is the game's composer. He's just that kind of, and our bandmate in the band Yacht. He's just that kind of chill guy who loves to go on lots of hikes and make music. You'll see up in, here we go. This is the color version of Femtofax. Femtofax is Blippo Plus's built-in teletext service. It's a little bit of a hybrid of teletext, BBS, and early web message boards. It's a way for residents of Planet Blip to send messages and communicate with one another asynchronously, because as we know, that's the best form of communication. There's a number of different channels on Femtofax, all of which have different services and offerings. So there's micro meditation, which is sort of actualizing mantras, Trash Type, which is a trash talking service for people to air their grievances, the Read Only Review, which is sort of like a blog written by a critic named AC Trilby, who reviews things that are going on in the world of Blippo Plus, including shows. Recipes for Recluses is a self-help program written by a character named Dr. Minette, who, fun fact, is named after our costumer Kiki Stash's daughter, Minette Stash, who was also our teen wrangler on the show Boredom. Shout out to Nettie. I wanted to include her in the game a little bit. What else we got? And that's Recipes for Recluses. We've seen that. What about TextX is our misconnections, personals, romance. It's where the people of Planet Blip find each other and hook up. Yes, Michael?
Just a question about all of these and how you kind of put them together and the research that you did as you put these together.
Yeah, I mean, everything is inspired by something special from the history of television. This interface and the design, I designed all of the Femtofax screens. I also made Cubis, These are inspired by BBC's CFAX service, which was the BBC's teletext service. If you are familiar with the way that looks, you'll see it's the same color palette. It's some of the same design elements. We plus it up a little bit just to make it extra Blippian, so it's a little bit funkier. Oh, this is the Blippian Amateur Astronomers community message board, where a lot of, well, not a lot, but some key plot points of the larger story are teased out. So don't miss that.
So this is sort of as close as the Blippians get to the internet. Is that right?
Yeah. This is basically, I mean, to be clear, Blippo Plus is a cable television service from another planet, but it's also the sort of primary telecommunications system for all of these aliens. So it's kind of their iPhone, it's their internet, it's their telephone, it's their everything. It's their all-in-one communications hub. It is, is this a spoiler? I don't know. The material on Blippo Plus is disseminated through a technology called consciousness particle background radiation, which is essentially like a consciousness carrier wave through which media is disseminated. That's also a way to say that for Blippians, television is profoundly psychic and emotional, and it connects them on a kind of deep cosmic level beyond just entertainment.
And there's an aspect of this that I think it's talked about right at the beginning of the game, so this is not a spoiler, but that signal comes to us on Earth. And I just remember the day that we brought in an actual scientist to discuss this, who's mentioned in the credits. Can we talk about that conversation a little bit?
Yeah, our science advisor is Dr. Jameson Rollins from Caltech, a friend who came in, and we had a really amazing full-day sesh of asking him questions about particle physics. He studies gravitational wave radiation at Caltech, and had a lot of interesting things to tell us about the nature of the universe, which we wrote down and recorded and then completely disregarded.
But this whole thing is grounded in science.
Yes, this whole thing is very scientific. No, the concept of consciousness particles actually comes from a conversation that John and I had with a strange Dutch man in Belgium many years ago, who was the innkeeper of a weird Airbnb, who had done some kind of PhD philosophy paper on the idea of consciousness as a material form, and talked to us for like an hour over breakfast about how we all emit consciousness particles into the universe. And we walked away from that being like, yeah. That's our new religion. And we baked it into the world of Blippo Plus. We got a question from number one super cool, super fan, super person Ray in the chat asking how the Yasso protocol fits into all of this. And that's just a little kind of great little bit of insider knowledge from someone who's played the game on the playdate. They know about the Yasso protocol, it's the protocol designed by a character in this world, Dr. Ned Telfson, who, if you're into computer history, yep, that is a reference to Dr. Ted Nelson. He designed this protocol that makes it possible to distribute communications through the background carrier wave of consciousness particles. So shout out to Dr. Ned Telson and his amazing technology, which also allows him to communicate with the dead. There's a show on Blippo Plus where Dr. Telson interviews brains in jars, thanks to that Yasso protocol.
So that Yasso protocol is sort of the HTTP of their world.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just in the sense that it's part of the inherent communication protocols.
I think it's more like the TCP/IP of the world.
Fair enough.
Wouldn't it be just more like radio waves of the world? Isn't it just like always there, and he just tapped into it?
The particles are always there.
Okay, I
The
see.
protocol is how we.
Oh, we're talking about Yasso. I thought you were
It's
talking
how
about
we
just.
piggyback the communications onto the existing consciousness.
Got it.
Like we said, it's all very scientific and it all holds up once you start pushing.
Would you like to see the menus?
Oh, you know they want to see the menus. Now,
This is all new.
This is all new and only specifically for this version of the game. We are those people that love to fiddle with a TV menu. I think probably some of you are those people as well. Once you're at your parents' house and you got to turn off that motion smoothing, and then you get kind of lost in the sauce. So we had a lot of fun with our developer Mark, who we'll hear from soon, trying to figure out all the different settings that a person might want to tweak on to customize their Blippo Plus experience.
What's that low data mode? Can we go back to that? Go into the settings. Oh, snacks come alive. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. So low data mode is a emulated version of the... No, it's not emulated?
It's a way to access the Blippo Plus content in that original Playdate style, because we really fell in love with the way that 1-bit video looked. There's something about the way that video looks on the Playdate that just tickled our fancy and was the genesis of this entire project. So we wanted to make sure that that was included, even in the color version of the game, for the heads who prefer it.
So you can toggle with a button, you can go back and forth. And I think what's interesting about it is we had to make sure that everything was viewable in that 1-bit style. We were really designing everything as we were shooting it for 1-bit video. And so the beauty of the color is, I wouldn't say accidental, because I think JJ was so focused on it and aware of it and, you know, thinks in this kind of color all the time, like via her brilliance. But I think we were very focused on that 1-bit version. So to see it in, you know, essentially JJ's imagination version is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and again, another shout out to Dave from Panic, who built us basically a real-time 1-bit monitor that we were able to use in production. So we had a signal flow going from our color cameras into an actual Playdate that we had on set that we were able to test everything in as we were shooting. It made it possible to figure out which dithering algorithms would work best for which shows, when to tweak with the contrast of the sets and the costumes and the makeup. It really made it possible to shoot it in 2 modes simultaneously, which is otherwise quite tricky. Are there any other menu things you want to show, Jonna, or describe? Okay, so we got the utilities. This is a bit of a reveal. So as we mentioned earlier, the way that you navigate information and the different shows on Blippo Plus in the Playdate version happens in a kind of scheduled real-time way. In this version, you have to kind of move your way through the many in-world weeks of programming by unlocking data packets. That's new lore. Data packets, which you then have to load in your electronic program guide as you navigate through time.
I've always thought of it as on the Playdate version, you're just getting that constant stream from Planet Blip, whereas now in the color version, because it's so much more information, all of those weeks of programming are essentially condensed into a packet, which you then have to open up.
Yeah.
So you're getting them you're getting that week by week content, but you're getting it in these chunks that you can kind of move between in a full download.
Yeah, it's more of a thing that you can navigate back and forth. So you don't have to feel like you're missing anything. You can go back and find the things that you missed or reinterpret the things through a new lens once you've watched enough of the later week's content.
But importantly, you can't go back and you're still watching live of any week. You're still not able to,
Yes.
You're still watching live. You can't pause, you can't rewind, you're just watching whatever happens to be on at that time within the packet.
Yes, we call that non-demand programming. Again, it is a reference to the history of television. We didn't want this to be something that you could just kind of click through and navigate to your heart's content. We wanted it to have a little bit of that friction built in that reminds us all of what it was like to wait around for our favorite show to come on. Everything on Blippo Plus is a minute, so you don't have to wait long, and you'll see lots of really amazing things on the way while you're waiting for something to come back to the beginning. But it is an experience of somewhat engineered constraint. We want it to feel like real television.
As someone with a very minor part in the background and trying to find the clips of myself, I will say it's quite an adventure on its own as you kind of cycle through and wait and you're like, oh, here comes the show, and then here comes the moment that, oh, I missed the screenshot. I'll wait for it next time.
What we see on screen right now is Clone Trois. I think that's actually why we wanted to have France be canon in this world, is so we could have a show called Clone Trois, which is a medical soap opera starring many clones of the same character, played by Olive Komodo, an amazing musician, DJ, and artist here in Los Angeles.
So what's your relationship with France and television?
Oh, okay. Sure. I mean, we all have our stories as to why we were compelled to work on this project. Mine is that my family came to America from France when I was very young, and all I knew about America was what I had seen on television, which was specifically Happy Days reruns and Bugs Bunny cartoons, which I think might explain some of the writing in these shows. Everything is kind of seen through the lens of Bugs Bunny. Shout out to Bugs Bunny, my #1 guy.
I was going to say shout out to the writing. Shout out to Claire L. Evans, writing every word on Blippo Plus.
Thank you. Thank you for the shout out.
So right now we're watching Quizzards. Do we have any questions that we need to check out in the stream? Yeah, Quizzards is a cooperative role-playing fantasy game / game show. So it's mixed between, like a little bit of a cooperative campaign, a fantasy campaign, and just straight up trivia. It's really fun. Here's the Rubber Report. Boing, boing.
You might remember the Rubber Report from the interview with Chloe Cooper we just played earlier on this stream. Everybody loves Quizzards, which makes us really happy because I think the lore of Quizzards is deep in all of our bones. This is Confetti Cowboys. Hey, if you've seen the movie Weapons, that cowboy on the left, that's the dad from Weapons. That's right. We have some high wattage big celebrities in this thing. That's Whitmer Thomas, an old friend of ours, and his longtime creative collaborator, Clay Tatum. Both really amazing comedians and filmmakers, again, here in Los Angeles.
We've made 2 music videos with Whit and Clay. They took us to their hometown of Gulf Shores, Alabama in 2013 to shoot a music video. And then with Clay, we shot a video, like 2 years ago. So shout out to Whit and Clay, our old friends and incredible comedians and performers and directors and artists.
This is one of the funniest parts of Confetti Cowboys, a richly improvised physical comedy, which you gotta love. We just passed Fetch, which is our kids claymation show, which was animated by Jamie Stratford. Fun fact: our director and cinematographer, J.J. Stratford's sister, who goes by the name Clayme Stratford, has an amazing Instagram of really funny, really cute short form claymation animations. If you like that kind of thing, there's lots more. Yes, Jonna? The messages. Okay, sure, we'll show you the messages. This is where some system messages come through from Blippo Plus television executive and CEO Lisa Duo. Again, people who know the game from the Playdate version will know that Lisa Duo is a force to be reckoned with. And it's through these messages that you get a little bit of extra story, and you also get to discover and unlock the different data packets that allow you to load new weeks of programming into the electronic program guide. There's a really fun sound effect in the messages, which I don't know if you can hear, but it's kind of like a bark. Yeah, okay, ready? Play it. Yeah.
Also, watch out for that little wagging tail icon. Will let you know there's new messages when you're on that main. Oh, it's not there now because there's no new messages. But you see that little wagging exclamation point there. I love that animation. Also, Lisa Duo, a truly inspirational figure.
Yeah, a truly important character. The world of Blippo Plus is post-capitalist, post-scarcity. The closest thing that it has to like a political leader or an authority figure is the television executive that runs the Blippo Plus parent company, Acoustics Entertainment. And that is Lisa Duo, who you will see in various different shows, looking very smart in a leather suit and some really fabulous earrings. There was a question in the chat about whether or not we will see PDs on this color version, or did we shoot alternate takes with switches and Steam Decks. We did not shoot alternate takes. It is still the PD convention. So on Planet Blip, PDs, which is oddly similar to our playdates, are the kind of planetary personal device. It's their equivalent to like a smartphone. So that remains the same regardless of what platform we're on. The PD is still their communication device.
Well, and I think that speaks to the difference between the sort of live streaming version on the Playdate versus the Paquette version. Again, a little bit of a, you're not going to get that live experience in color.
Yeah.
And that's because you're not on a PD. You're on a Switch, or I'm just making this up. Yeah, it's, where are we? Are we about to have Mark come in?
Yeah, I just messaged him. This is Wake Up Universe, which is our kind of morning talk show. That's Tipper Newton and Brent Weinbach. I think Brent Weinbach was one of the first people when we started dropping trailers for the game that people recognized as a known figure in the world. He's an amazing comedian, incredibly dry, incredibly funny. Just if you're into the way that character comes off in that show, you're gonna really love his stand-up. Speaking of color, this is Boredom. This is our teen show. That girl talking right now is Josie Jensen. We have known her since she was a literal actual baby, which is fun. But all of these teens are teens from the local performing arts high school here in LA. They are all wrangled for us by our costumer Kiki Stash's daughter Nettie, who kind of served as their agent while we were in production. It was very fun and very chaotic to spend time with this many teenagers at once. They're all incredible professionals, very good actors, and after we wrapped, we actually went to go see a high school production of Cabaret that they did. That was quite racy and genuinely transgressive, and I think about it a lot. They're very talented. The crazy thing is that we shot this 2 years ago, and they're all in college now, and they're totally unrecognizable grown-ups, and it is Time. Time, folks. It comes at you fast. Oh, Mark says he's waiting to be let in on the call.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're gonna have our dev, Mark LaCroix, call in a second once we figure out the the technical side of it. You wouldn't believe the setup we have here, folks. We have just so many cables and so many chairs propping everything up. Let's see. Okay, I think we... Oh, we're waiting. We're waiting. Should I tell him to try again?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Here we go.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, there he is. Okay, hold on. Folks, hang tight. We are doing a little bit of engineering, software engineering as we speak. Okay, here we go.
Coming to us from the beautiful Twin Cities.
Coming to us from the beautiful Twin Cities is our incredible, yes. Okay.
Well, here, let's make this bigger.
We're making it bigger.
And then we need some sound for Mark. Give us 1 second. Oh, are you there, Mark?
Oh, not for us.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I was just mouthing that.
Ah, good
Stealing
bit.
a bit.
Good bit.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a
Mark-
morning for bits, folks.
So good to see you.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch the stream up to now.
How are we doing?
I'm so glad you said that because I have no idea how it's going.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, hold on. We lost audio again. John is clicking too hard.
Oh, no, what happened? Hold on.
1 second. We're switching around here. We're just trying to fine tune everything.
Oh, no, why is it gone?
But you know,
Hold on.
Hold on.
how did we meet Mark?
Mark? Okay, hold on. While we fix the audio, Mark, I'm sorry. I don't even know if you can hear us or anyone can hear us.
I think they can hear us.
They can hear us. Okay, well, we're going to vamp while Jonna fixes the audio. Mark was connected to us by the good people of Panic. They said, you need a port? We got the guy. And then we were like, port? How about a whole new game? And he was like, okay.
A real bait and switch. Yeah, Mark got roped in, and man, watching as things came in color was amazing. To get used to it in black and white, and then just to start to see what he was making, you know, over the course of how long did that take? Time is so fuzzy on this project.
Years. There were a couple.
I'm sure Mark knows, but he can't tell us.
Okay. Yes, yes, chat. We know Mark is quiet. We're working on it. Quiet. How about silent?
Try now?
Try now.
Mark?
Oh, wait, I can barely hear him, but he's there. Click, 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 click.
I'm turning it up.
Try again, Mark.
Say words.
Hello, testing.
Oh man, this is.
Why it's so quiet?
Well, you know, things don't always work on a live stream.
We were told by Cable that things would not work, and God, what a prophecy that was.
He's been through this before. And yeah, what else can we say about Mark while Mark is here that he can't actually respond to? This is fun. We can say,
This is so funny.
yeah, we had like weekly meetings, much of which was diving into the weeds about various things, and sometimes we're just catching up and hanging out. And it was very funny because we'd been doing that for like almost a year or so, and then got to meet in person when Mark came to the party. And it was so fun to see Mark in real life and know that he wasn't just a pretend person.
Yeah, because unless you see someone in real life, they are pretend people. Like for us right now, we are pretend people to you. And we are the creators of many other pretend people inside of the video game Blippo Plus. But the difference is that the people inside of Blippo Plus are in fact real people from the planet Blip, and we are going to stick to that. We're just going to keep talking about Mark while you all look at him, which is so funny and weird. Maybe,
Can you try again?
yeah, maybe hang up and call again. I hate this.
Am I a little louder?
It's so quiet. Yeah. Do you have any input gain on your side?
The chat says this is why Apple went to the pre-recorded stuff. Live is more fun though. Yep, that's true.
Can Pat hear me okay? Because I know Cable was a little quiet, but still.
Yeah, I heard Cable was quiet too. I mean, there's now words coming out.
It's just so quiet.
Oh gosh. What if we just FaceTimed him on my phone and like held him up to the... Is that ridiculous?
That's ridiculous. We can hear. We can just do it out of this speaker and do the same thing. But yeah, here. Okay.
Thanks for your patience, chat, as we figure out the logistics of... Yes, I want to reiterate for a second or third time, this is our first ever live stream.
Okay, wait. Now try.
Oh, hey.
Hello?
Oh!
Hold the mic up to that.
Hold the mic up to that. Okay.
Okay, so Mark,
Mike, you look great. I'll start with that.
thanks. I guess you didn't get the memo about the dress code.
Yeah, we all got the memo, but then we all just decided that it was for you. I think.
Classic. Mike sends a memo and no one pays attention to it but Mike.
Yeah, I will say honestly, when the stream started and it was just you in the tux, it did not faze me. I was like, that makes sense. Like, yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that worked out. Yeah. Man, how does it feel? We just launched a video game together.
Man, there was so much hurry up and wait in those last couple months that you all know, and like just lots of little things you mentioned earlier. Just like every milestone is like, oh, we're done now. Oh no, there's a little bit more, and that's video games, right? And so, the panic folks were all, but just when the button got pressed, we're all refreshing. Did it work? Everything fine? And it's fine. It's out. People have bought it now. Like, so it really does feel really, really great. And it's been quite, I've released a couple of video games in my time. This is a unique experience. So thank you for doing it this way, because it's been really nice.
Yeah. It's been so much fun working with you and figuring out what the hell we're doing in the process. You've been very patient with us as we are first time game makers of games. A lot of very patient explaining why things are or aren't possible.
Oh yeah, that is. I was really very much. There was so many. I had to ramp up my nose as time went on, and it was not fun. But it was you all had the same kind of patience with me about melding those things together. And this is such a unique one-off project that, man, from the beginning, that I can describe myself as the developer of this version, but really I am this thing's number one fan. That's the main thing. That's my main relationship to it. And so it's been so great to see other people join my club now in the way that I know it, instead of the way that everyone has known it for the past couple of months. That's been really, really valuable.
I feel like I remember that at the very beginning because you'd been working kind of as we were finishing up things for the Playdate version. You had already started, and we were not paying very much attention to you. And you came in with such depth and knowledge because you'd been watching all of the shows, just over and over and over again as you were working on it, and you knew everything. And it was astounding to meet someone outside of our little core team that knew every little part. It was really it was fun to meet you first as that super fan.
That's great. And what's strange is because I really was alone with it for a long time and just diving deeper and deeper and loving it more and more every minute. This past couple of weeks, as you all have been doing some press, people have been asking you questions that I wouldn't have thought to ask. And I'm learning more about the project now at this very end stage than I ever did. It's been really, really fascinating. So that's been really, really great.
Do you have any, as sort of the first fan, do you have any questions for any of us that would be interesting to share?
So in our call, we were all watching the beginning of the stream together, and Cable, after he got off with you, came in and he was like, well, I wonder how long they're going to stream for. And I said, well, they're going to have me in later, and an hour in. That seems like a long time. And so he implored me to keep you on for another 3 hours. So I did write a couple of questions that I want to ask you. Basically, exactly what you're going for. Yes, I did.
Okay.
We'll see how much patience you have for it. Okay. So the first thing about this thing that I just love so much, the thing that caught me right away and never lets you go, is this is a story about aliens, but it's such an incredibly human story. It has such depth of empathy and it's all this nostalgic visual elements, but it's not superficial in a way that a project like this really could be. So that's where it really started. Where this all fits together so well. And so I want to ask about the character dynamics, because you explore this world through the perspective of multiple characters. There's no main character. So can you describe the process of developing multiple sympathies? Because there is, spoilers, there's some conflict that happens later in the story. And you as a storyteller need to decide whose viewpoint are you following. But the format of this thing is it's everybody's. So can you talk a little bit about developing that sort of standoffish but also really intimate perspective?
Just before handing it off to John and Claire, who can answer that question better, I do want to say, having known them as the band for a long time and being a fan of their music, I think that's also present there.
Oh, thanks. I just wanted to go back to one of my original questions for Claire was, what Mike, you asked, what is Blippo Plus? I responded with, what isn't it? And I think that's super important. It's not a dystopian story. It's not a cynical story. And I want you to talk about the heart of Blippo Plus, in addition to Mark's question.
Well, I think that's. I think, that is a good point, Jonna. It was explicitly designed to be something different than what we had seen before in terms. I'm a big science fiction head. I think we all are in this crew, including you, Mark. And I am very burned out on apocalyptic visions of the future. I'm very burned out on the end times. I'm very burned out on I love cyberpunk and stuff, but I'm just burned out on all of that. Things are really terrible. That way of telling stories about other worlds and about the future. We wanted to make something that was more about creating a different, better world, rather than showing the ways in which this world is going to fall. We wanted to give people an alternative vision of something so that they could imagine themselves in it and inhabit it. And I think partially that comes from our group of friends initially coming together as a Shadowrun RPG group. We were already doing a lot of world building together, and we realized that what we wanted to do was create a world and live in it and invite as many people to live in it with us as possible. So part of that humanness that you're seeing, I think, is actually the greater community and all the people that are in this thing, joining in and kind of LARPing with us based on the parameters of a world that we designed for them to inhabit. So we were this is this planet. It's kind of like Earth, but there's a few things that are really significantly different. This is the culture. This is the lingo. This is, what is important to these people. And then we want you to run with that. And I think maybe that's a testament to how cool our community and JJ's community is that people really got that and were willing to kind of play. And I think that's what comes through, really, is that feeling of collective. I hate to use the word play because it's gross, but collective play and experimentation. There is conflict, but yeah, you're right. It is a story told from multiple perspectives at the same time. And I think that, man, I haven't even really unpacked what that means, to be honest with you.
When we started, I remember sitting around the table and talking about story, and both of you being so adamant that there was not an overarching villain in this. It's really if you look at archetypal stories, it's person against nature more than it is person against person.
Yeah. It's it's the story of a culture reacting to a major event. And when that happens, everyone has a different take on it. Everyone has a different plan for what everyone should do. Not everybody's going to agree. Intergenerationally, not everyone's going to agree. But there can be surprising alliances formed too within that framework.
And back to the tone, not that we hate dystopian fiction or dystopian sci-fi. We love it, but there doesn't need to be more of it from us. We just wanted to make something that felt more true to us. We're still huge fans of that stuff, and it doesn't need to be one or the other. That's the thing. All of this stuff needs to coexist. We need to have every viable option in front of us so we know that another way is possible.
I'm only realizing this now, but it's really a reverse telling of War of the Worlds.
Yeah. We talked about making a sequel that would be the same story from the point of view of Earth. Maybe we will. Don't want to commit to that, but maybe we will.
More from Mark.
Yeah, more from Mark.
More from Mark.
Yeah. That's a very long answer to your first question, but we do have 3 hours to go. So what's your next question, Mark?
No, we don't.
Okay. No, we're not gonna go that long, but I have a couple more. One of the things I learned recently from interviews you've done is that you had this outline. You knew how the story was going to begin and progress and end, but the specifics were done as you were filming each show over a long period. Yeah. So you were kind of building it out as you were making it, which I'm of the opinion that's the best way to make anything. It's dangerous, but it's the best way to make anything because everything's everything. But I wanted to ask about the unseen spaces. So you have to build all this world building that's sort of oh, this is an interesting idea that we just filmed. How does that tie into this and that? But ultimately, that probably has to be, I'm guessing, you can tell me, that means there was a lot of stuff you thought of that you didn't end up using. Mm-hmm. So how much of that stuff And how useful was that versus how frustrating was that? Did it help you then with the things you were going to be filming, or was it just constantly realizing, oh, this is getting bigger and bigger, and we're never going to be able to get it all?
I mean, from my perspective, watching Claire write things kind of in real time, like they probably do it like a soap opera. Like she's writing while people are talking and rewriting live. Nothing. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but nothing was canon until it was filmed. Like, there's ideas I have in my head of things that we talked about multiple times that I don't think are actually true in the world because something changed or something had to adapt at some level.
Or they were filmed, but they didn't make the final edit, you know? We have to constantly, like, go back and check the source material to make sure that we're referencing something that actually is in the game versus what happened in, like, that wild year that we were shooting. Yeah, I mean, the great thing about working in that way, which I actually wouldn't recommend. I mean, I think it's what, again, does make the most interesting stuff, and it allows you to be really flexible. But it is, you know, you get to a certain point, I think like 2/3 of the way through the process, where I was like, I've got all the plot points in my head, but just barely. You know, they could just fly away in the wind, and I would be completely lost. So Mike helped me make a spreadsheet at one point with all the beats because it was just absurd. It was all just like in here. It was in the sauce. But yeah. Yes.
I was just going to say that spreadsheet was amazing because, like the show itself, we had to go back and keep being like, oh, right, but then that happened, which impacted this because it's time on one axis and all the characters on the other. And so you're tracking what does every character know and understand about this world as we're going through week by week, which was so intense.
And in that spreadsheet, we made a glossary too. So we wanted to have different terms that we could reuse and make sure that they weren't just like random one-offs. Mm-hmm. So like if you have at least 2 characters saying Dros, then it becomes canon.
Yeah, and there's lots of things in the glossary that also never made the cut. Like it's canon that when someone on Planet Blip sneezes, you say gazoo, but we never used that. We just all decided that was the case and then said it whenever anyone sneezed
I still say it.
on set for a year. We never actually wrote it in, but it's in there. And I think that does like inform something or other. I mean, I think it makes everyone feel more bought in to like the world of it.
The world is bigger than any one moment of the show.
And it's kind of like, you know, like when you join a cult. Like there's often like a language thing that happens where you get indoctrinated into saying certain things a certain way, and language becomes like this thing that excludes and separates you from the outside world. This is like the positive version of that, where there's just like a lot of funny lingo that everyone was picking up, and that made us all feel like we were living in the world, and it made it feel more real, and it made it feel more fun, and it made it feel like it had no boundaries and that it encompassed everything that we were doing, and everything was an idea that could go into the thing. Also, a lot of ideas came from just on-set improvisations and ideas from the cast. Off-the-cuff ideas while we were shooting. Things were constantly, changing on the fly. I was like writing sometimes scripts directly into the teleprompter for actors to read like as we were going in real time. Again, not the best way I think to work, but really interesting. And I think it makes the story feel like this sort of snowball. Like it's all very cumulative. We shot all of the sort of really simple shows first. Like we shot the Video Cola and like the cooking shows and everything that was sort of didn't involve on-screen talent. And then we just got more and more complex as we went. And we ended, I think the last thing we shot was Brain Drain.
Yeah.
It was like Confetti Cowboys, Brain Drain, and Worf's Tavern are the last 3 that we shot because they were the most kind of complicated. And then there were a few things that came together after that, like Tales from the Tube and Movie Maniacs. But yeah, it just kept getting more and more complicated. And so by the end, it was just like, okay, all these pieces have to fit together. And I'm so glad I have the spreadsheet.
And I think that aspect of like how lines were said also made them more canon sometimes than we thought. Like Boing Boing being a good example of that. Boing. Like the way that's delivered makes it even more iconic.
Yeah. And JJ's really good at teasing those kinds of performances out of people, like really leaning into like the campiest, funniest line read, and then making that like the cornerstone of a performance is something that she's really good at.
Right. It sounds like you suffered, but also benefited from that flexibility, right? Like there's maybe if you had the opportunity to start over, there'd be more planning earlier, perhaps. Yeah. But yeah, you did benefit from that. I mean, certainly. I had a group of playtesters when we were getting the first builds done, and all of them now just say boing boing to each other in that way. It's definitely catches on, and like you can like plan for some of that, but like yeah, you're gonna have to let it sort of happen. which I don't know how surprising that is for you coming from me, because I think a lot of our conversations were about me being like, we need to organize and plan these things. Like that was like my, when I'm working, like, you have to do that. But there's a bigger truth, right? Which is, of creation, right?
Yeah.
I could sense that in you, Mark, an appreciation of both. It was just that in the moment of all of our development, you had to be like, let's scope this very carefully.
I think our greatest strength as artists is that we're very iterative, but that's also, I think, probably was one of the most frustrating aspects of working with us. I'm sure for you is that like, we'd be like, cool, okay, great, that looks great. Let's change 100 things. And we know that, like it's like sometimes we know what we want based on what's there, and we're like reacting against it. And we want to keep building and like keep adding stuff, taking stuff away until it's like the perfect thing. Which
There's two sides of it too. Like, that just like you had the actors and JJ and like everybody being able to contribute because you had basically vacuums to fill, right? Mm-hmm. Like it needed to work and go together. But I had those too, and that was like the flip side of it is that I got to express myself and be creative on a project that when I signed on for it was like, let's make a port. And it was so much bigger and better than that in every way. With all of the side effects, of course.
we did it.
There's no great art without suffering.
Yeah. Doesn't it suck to like have to say that out loud and like know it's kind of true?
Yes. Also, your frustration about like structure and deadlines and things. I feel like that was me during a lot of production. I feel like there was a lot of trying to wrangle a process out of a creative process, which I honestly think that Jonna maybe works best when he's rebelling against structure. Maybe it was helpful, but not for me.
Well, I don't think it's about rebelling. I think it's about you can't be bogged down by structure. I can't be bogged down by structure. There was a time in the studio where we had a giant whiteboard with every single show mapped out and then a thermometer-style gauge. And Mike was coloring in the thermometer as we made progress.
Felt great.
And it felt great for Mike.
Felt wonderful to see that progress.
But for me and JJ, just seeing that we had so much to do made it overwhelming. It made it impossible. So we had to throw a blanket over the whiteboard because it's just, you have to be naive and you have to like put blinders on. Some people have to put blinders on or we can't do the work. We have to envision it being perfect and done and not see how undone it is.
I mean,
you have to not think about how much time is left or how late it is in the evening, right? You kind of just, you have it in front of you. You know that like you broadly understood you have the time to do it. You can't be thinking about that every minute, right?
There's no one, if you took all of the resources that this thing took to make and you put it on a table and you said, okay, here's everything you need to make this, no one could have made this with those resources. It's only through that kind of blinders on, I'm not going to consider what we're doing, that this was able to get done.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was my design. Like from the beginning, I knew that if I wasn't involved, that we couldn't do it. That like I was putting all of the work. Like I know I can make myself do this, and I don't think I can make other people do this. And I'm so glad that you were all here and we all did it together. Because oh my gosh.
They don't tell you a lot of stuff about making video games. They don't tell you gotta make a spreadsheet with every single word in the game for localization, for example. They don't tell you about that part. They don't tell you about a lot of stuff.
If you've made multiple video games, you also never learn any of that. Like every project, you're like, oh wait, like how did I not know any of this? Didn't I do this already? And so don't feel too bad about that. we're all ignorant as we go through. Yeah.
That's why
I wanted to ask. Speaking of Jonna's work, I wanted to ask about the sort of iconography and the sort of like the graphic identity of the game, because one of the things, because I will, I never shut up about Claire's writing, but one thing I think is really important to building all that out is the fact that it's composed of many pieces. So my question for you, Jonna, is you had to create a world that had one voice. It's the voice of Planet Blip, but you also had to create the individual voices that were in conflict with each other, like visually or stylistically, and it feels both. The result is it feels like it's one thing and it feels like it's many things in a way that doesn't distract from others. So that's my big compliment to you. But how did you approach that? Was that sort of a natural impulse? Did you go along and it became what it was and you followed the path, or was it like a struggle to keep it on those rails?
It was never. I mean, everything is always a struggle for me. But it was more of the former. Like I feel like I intuited it, and every show was already so strong in its writing and in the performance that it was a battle to try to make something that visually represented it and did it justice. And so it just ended up being like a lot of research of looking at television history and looking at identities of different shows and networks and being like, okay, it has to be at least as good as this. And that is like a tall order, because I mean, there are teams of professional designers and working on this stuff, and as one person like having to design every single logo, there's so many revisions of every single logo for everything, not just the networks, but also every single show's identity. There's like 10 versions. And in the studio, when we were shooting shows, I would be designing some stuff and like showing JJ and showing Claire and showing Mike and being like, is this any good? And I just always started from the perspective of being like, this is never going to be good enough, and just having to push myself the entire time.
I can remember times where everyone said it was good, and then you would seem to kind of accept that, and then like later what got printed out and used was something different and better.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't live in a consensus reality, I guess.
I think you have a thing about like showing things to people is part of your process, but you don't necessarily take the feedback. It's like therapy, you know, when you like say things out loud to someone else, then you're like, oh, that's what's going on. That's what he does. You know, he'll play music or show people stuff, and it's like it doesn't even matter what they think. It's just the process of like putting it out there that makes him see it from a different perspective, and then he goes back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been a thing with music. The second that I play something that I'm working on for someone else, I'm like, oh no, what did I do? And so, yeah, just having, yeah.
There's a similar concept in programming called rubber duck programming.
Yeah.
Where and that sounds a lot like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
I
exact
just
thing.
learned that expression like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Rubber ducking. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's when you explain your problems to a rubber duck.
Yeah.
You like put it. I mean, I don't know if you literally do,
Yeah.
but you're
Like
like
Ernie.
Ernie?
Like Ernie from Sesame Street.
Does he, because he has a rubber duck. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had a.
It's not exactly, but close.
Like Ernie. But yeah, I think the externalizing is a really big part of it. And that's the great thing about making something as a community of people is that you're constantly externalizing. It's very vulnerable sometimes and scary. I mean, every single time we read through one of my scripts, I was like, ah. But you have to do that in order to make something good. You have to like be willing to let your friends be your first audience and then build from there.
Yeah, it's all about other people. I think that's what one of the big takeaways from Blippo is. It's not about us. It's about everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have one more big question, but I also have another thing to ask about about this topic, which is I think a lot of people approach a project like this we're looking for homages or creating homages, and Jonna, I think what I saw in a lot of the design you did is like you were performing as the people who would make this, right? And it wasn't just like, let's take a parody version of this, right? And so I guess final compliment on that. But I want to give you an opportunity to hype the book because it's an interesting corner of the space that's sort of worth its own topic, and you guys made something with it.
Just real quick, that makes me think of the signatures from all of the different designers when we're showing all the different fashions of Planet Blip. Each one of them has a unique signature that Jonna did.
I mean, I'm just fascinated by all this kind of deep dive stuff, and signatures I've been fascinated with for years and years. They're so fun. There's so much like style in a signature. And yeah, I mean, if we're going to show something on screen, if we're going to animate something like a signature on screen, it has to be so fun and so good. And each one of the designers had to have their own personality and own design. So I just scoured the internet looking at signatures for hours and hours and pulling the best thing. Go ahead. Okay.
So could I name can you tell me some of the attributes of the designers that you thought about as you were doing those designs? Like, is that still in your head as a character?
I can tell you.
Okay.
Okay, so like this is not at all answering Mark's question, by the way. And I actually wanted to like briefly say that is a really great observation, Mark, that like John is like embodying the kind of person that would do this thing rather than like riffing on something existing.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of parody and of homage, but again, like that's not what we wanted to do. That wasn't our order with this. It was to make something slightly different than that, to twist that, to bend it, and to make our own thing. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, okay. So signatures, you want to show them?
Just as an example of embodying something that doesn't exist except as a signature, and this idea that you, at some level, had to create an entire character in your head, which I think is to Mark's question. It wasn't just like make a page of signatures. It was, I'm going to actually like embody like all of these different designers and their personality in the signatures.
Exactly, yes. What do you want to know about them?
Give me one example
Well,
of like what you thought about.
there's Cache to Photon,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
like that's Cache to Photon, which is supposed to be like a young and rebellious designer who just made their debut at GAC City Fashion Week, and that signature is a little bit like anarchic and wild. Whereas some, like Madeline Planet's signature, for example, she's one of the news anchors on Blippo Plus. You see her signature on screen in the title sequence of that show, and she's very kind of traditional broadcasting veteran. It's a very kind of clean signature. Yeah, we could talk about all of them, but maybe not.
Luma just has a single name, Luma, and so that signature had to be like a little bit mysterious, a little bit classic. But yeah, this I think also plays into something that we've been fascinated with for years, and that's just like Hollywood history. Going into a restaurant and seeing 8x10s up on a wall, that kind of stuff is just so cool and so fun.
Yeah, totally.
That really leads into my sort of last question, which is like the signatures for the designers for Look a Lot. You just see their signatures briefly, and that's all you really sense of them, other than the work of theirs that is shown. Yeah. And like it implies so much, and it's up to the viewer to kind of fill in the rest of the blanks. I love that about the whole project. There's so much of that. But specifically, and this is maybe a little technical that I want to end on because we're talking about the color version, is the players or viewers' relationship with time. Mm-hmm. The shows are 1 minute long. It's a 5-minute loop. The Playdate version has a weekly schedule. The color version has sort of a progress metaphor. But at no point, in my mind anyway, putting it together, I never, like with the menus and the interface, I never wanted to have the players feel like that sense of time was what was really happening on Planet Blip. It was more of like, that's just how the game works. And I want to hear you guys talk about the audience's relationship with time, because you couldn't make, there is so much content in this thing, but you couldn't do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of programming and 40-minute shows, and that wouldn't really be correct for this format. So how did you take that conceptually from the beginning all the way to the sort of technical implementation? How did you take that notion of time, including the novelty of it, all the way to the sort of feeling you get as a player?
If Jonna had had his druthers, it would have been 40 minutes all the time and never. I'm just kidding.
It was originally meant to be longer. But not. By the way, Mark, these are really good questions. You should have like a podcast or something.
Oh, well, funny you do say that. I do host a podcast. You gave me the opening, so I'm going to take it. Yeah. I host a podcast called Nice Games Club. It's an indie dev podcast. Nicegames.club or wherever you get your podcasts. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for letting me plug.
Yeah, want you to plug. They are really great questions. Time was really contentious in this. There is a 5-minute loop. Obviously, the Blippian day isn't 5 minutes long, or is it?
Or is it?
Or is it? We made a deliberate choice to never talk about time, never make references to time. I would write scripts, and John would be like, "That's pretty good, but there's the word week in it." Or like, "There's the word day. You say good day. We can't have that." So everything had to be like very specifically like to avoid the idea of time. There are, of course, like thematic for the audience, yeah. Because otherwise I think it would be too confusing. We tried to come up with like lots of different conventions to explain like why would there be a 5-minute loop in subspace from the day being that short to there being some kind of
Two suns.
Two suns. I don't think the two. Yeah, 2 suns, short day. That's science. Yeah. But that eventually I think we just decided like, okay, well, Blippian culture moves really fast. We want to get across this feeling that they're kind of manic as a culture, that they're able to condense everything they want to express into 1 minute, and maybe they don't need things to be a full day's long programming. There are like thematic sections. Like obviously some shows are like morning shows, like there's kids programming, there's daytime programming, there's things that feel more late night, but that's more like expressed through tone than by any explicit description, because I think it just comes across.
And also, I think we kind of imply that there may be more shows on Blippo Plus, but we're just getting the subspace relay. We're getting this loop that is a little bit lesser than, so there could be a whole other slate of shows.
Yeah.
And to pull the curtain back, there was a whole other slate of shows. Every network, we did have an additional show, so it was a 6-minute loop at first. And that took some, like, I don't know, we intuited that 5 minutes would probably, if we had this grid of 11 shows, and each being, a minute long and five blocks of time, that would probably feel deep enough for you to kind of miss the loop on the first way around. And it would require repeat viewing. And I think 5 ended up being the minimum. 6 was just like a little bit too much. And also from our production schedule, it just would have killed us to do 5 more shows. Are we? Oh no.
Not on the stream, but we're frozen on our screen.
Oh no, okay, hold on.
Are we frozen? Are we frozen, chat? Oh, we froze. Well,
Yeah, Mark can still hear us. But
Mark can still hear us. Can
I
the
can still hear you. So you
okay?
can still hear me.
Can the we can still hear you?
yeah.
Someone in the chat asked, because we think the chat can still hear us. I hope. What shows got cut? There was another soap opera. I'll tell you that. There was another soap opera called Galactic Passions that got cut.
There's also like a lot of the stuff that got cut was never as fully fleshed out because Claire was writing it all, essentially live. It was when we decided to cut, it was also like it was an aspect of like, oh, these ideas aren't going to be pursued. It wasn't like we filmed them and there's missing footage from those shows.
It was, we decided for the sake of all of our sanities that we had to stop filming so we could start editing and building the actual game, because the whole project ended up taking several years longer than we thought it would. We were very ambitious. We were actually just looking at our original contract with Panic, and it's like, Blippo Plus will come out in fall 2022. It's like, I don't know how we ever believed that to be possible.
I think there's some of the kind of missing references are in the book, right?
Some of them.
Yeah, in the Logos from Planet Blip book, there's some stuff that was never seen. So that's a good, if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can check out the book.
Including actually a logo, for some reason, for the word gazoo, which is again what Blippians say when, oh hey, wow. What Blippians say when instead of bless you after a sneeze. There is a logo for that concept.
Oh, that's a good logo. I'm sad that never made it on.
Oh, we lost. Okay, we lost Mark. Wow, the technical issues, fam. Well, let's look at some questions from the chat while we're kind of in this liminal phase. Oh my God, this is a real close-up. I don't love that. Yes, Ray. Okay. Someone asked if there's a mystery to this game. There is a story. I don't know about a mystery. Yeah, there is a mystery. Things happen in this world. Large cosmic events unfold in the background, and your job or your task, your joy as a viewer, is to watch enough programming that you're able to tell the difference between what's going on in the background and what's going on in the foreground, kind of. Like, it's your job to infer from another culture's television the forces that are at play behind the scenes in their culture. Some things are more explicit than others, but yes, there is a mystery. There is an event that occurs that everyone in the culture reacts to and tries to decode and experiences collectively, and eventually responds to in interesting, revolutionary ways. So yeah.
We're on handheld now, so it's a little bit bumpy. Mark, thank you so much. I know that was a little bit of an abrupt end, but I just wanted to say thanks so much. Great questions. I'm sure we'll do probably an appearance on Mark's podcast at some point, so look for that in the future. I'm just saying that we're all going to do it, and now it's canon. And then I feel like since we're on handheld, it's maybe time to wrap things up. I could not be more excited about having a game out. Like in my house, Catherine and I keep joking about how Catherine is my longtime partner and lover and housemate. And we keep talking about like, oh, I get to be on Nintendo, which is such a weird thing to think about. Like when I was a kid, playing those games, and now I'm a character on Nintendo. And now, yeah, and I'm look forward to. I hope everyone will come and sign my petition to get Lenny to be on Super Smash Brothers.
This is Mike's been pushing this. I don't know, folks. If you want to get behind it, get behind it. I don't like this camera as much. Okay. Should we end the stream? I think it's sort of all falling apart. We really appreciate everyone watching and listening to us rant about our project. We wrote a little manifesto that we want to end this with. Jonna, do you want to run the manifesto music? No. Okay. I'm gonna read our little manifesto. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna end with our little manifesto. Reality TV has nothing to do with our reality. We're sick of cutting cables, signing up for free trials, sharing passwords, and subjecting our souls to endless advertisements. The burden of choice is so unbearable that we end up watching reruns, or worse, some new show that looks like slop and feels like it hates us. And let's not even talk about the internet. What has the world come to? The billionaires can blast right off because Mars isn't the answer. Planet Blip is. Planet Blip is more than a planet, it's a blueprint for a better world that welcomes all refugees from mediocrity. We built this planet for everybody, so come on down. All you have to do to be a Blippian is get your heart right and your head bent. Blippo Plus is an invitation. It's a question with a million answers, and we can't wait to find out what yours are. We'll tell you ours. Art is the answer, community is the answer. Blippo Plus was made with pure love for humanity, for Blippianity, for TV, for artists, for TV made by artists and not algorithm jockeys or bean counting network executives, but real people like you. And you, and you, and you. So dust off your remote and tune in. The de-evolution in television is here and there's no subscription required. Slamming off. Your comrades from Planet Blip.
Goodbye.
Bye.